In this game check, you'll see the Motorola Moto G5 Plus and the Sony Xperia XA1 in Dead Trigger 2. So let's see how these mid-class phones are doing. And we start with Motorola Moto G5 Plus on Dead Trigger 2. Like I've told you, it's not the first choice because it's such a cool game or so damn bloody or whatever. I pick it just because it's really supporting all platforms and all doing very well with up to 60 frames per second possible and really stressing CPU and GPU. And that's why I'm doing all these quick turns, moving around, looking up, turning around, whatever, as much movement as possible and as much action as possible. Then you will see in the upper right corner now in green 35, 37, 39 frames per second. That's computed live by GameBench. That's a tool I'm using. You see here on the left. It's running now and I'm trying to get 4 minutes at least to have the possibility to compute a real value concerning the average frames per second rate. It's not enough if you're doing just 30 seconds or something because it's depending too much on what you're doing and what's happening on the screen and whatever. So I take 4 minutes. I figured out that this is enough in most cases to have a real good result. And of course, Dead Trigger 2 here in maximum graphics quality. Of course, like I told you, I'm trying to stress here the system that's by the way here on the Motorola Moto G5 Plus. This is a Snapdragon 625, meaning you have 8 cores, all 8 with 2 GHz clocked, and all 8 are Cortex A53. So this is a typical mid-class, and the prices, that's why I picked these two here, both in Europe, Germany at least, including tax, 279 euros without any contract, so costing exactly the same, and both are brand new. So it's really interesting to see, at least for me it would be, if I'm a gamer and I want best for my money, first of all, how is it doing, and especially how does it look like, how fluid is it, and that's why this is a perfect choice here with Dead Trigger 2 and GameBench, checking and analyzing that. And we will see, of course, both, but first I started with a Motorola. Yeah, and by the way, in case you might have had that in mind, I am always cooling the displays down because now it's even here in Germany very warm. Now finally summer has begun. So and you all know, if it's getting warmer, all the smartphones have the problem that the CPU and GPU is turning down, especially CPU clock rate. So I detected during all my benchmarks in the last years that it's really making some difference if you're having cooled it down or just temperatures of 30 degrees or something, then the results are a bit worse than when they are cooled down. So I give the devices, like always, the best chances they can have. So I do here in this GameBench, and a little bit tricky here, getting a little bit, in trouble, but made it finally. Yeah, and once more, please, this is not a let's play. It's not how about I'm playing here, how about the great game is doing. Like I told you, it's just a tool to have stressed the CPU and GPU because, of course, I'm doing all the benchmarks, yes, sure, but nevertheless, it's always good to see what does that mean in real day, in everyday life, in real life. So it's not only about having best possible apps using all the power of the system, but just a typical normal game, a real life game like this one here, and that's one of the most demanding for the processor I know, and especially supporting all platforms the same way. Now going out, you see I have my 4 minutes done, and so I will stop. And let's see how this device has done, the Motorola Moto. It's the G5 Plus here. And you see we have 40 frames per second out of a maximum of 60. Here you see how it is. Let me have the complete session for you. So you see it's pretty, some are very low here, some are almost at 60 here, so calculating an average of 40 frames per second. Never mind this CPU 30%, because we don't have, unfortunately, GameBench at the moment isn't able to support the GPU under Android 7. So without the GPU value, this doesn't count anything. So let's concentrate on the frames per second. And I'm changing here to the Sony device. Yes, this is prepared, starting GameBench and starting the session here. And there we are at the very same position now with the Sony Xperia XA1. I'm trying to do, of course, the very same movements here, or at least the very same rate. Once more, you see in the upper right corner the frames per second live rate here. Oh, the visitors are already coming out here. So let me have some more ammunition at the moment. And let me explain that oops, one more. Okay, here we go. Let me explain here. This is the Xperia XA1, same price, $279, including 19% tax here in Europe, Germany, without any contract, of course. And there is one more. Here we are. The difference is, first of all, you have not full HD resolution on that screen. This is 720 by 1280 pixels. So, of course, it's way easier for the processor to calculate that image, and it's a totally different. Once more, let me move a little bit, turn around, have some quick moves here. It's the Helio P20 from MediaTek. So which direction do I have to go? Okay, that way. Here we are. Oh, one more. No, two. Wait. Busy today. Okay, MediaTek Helio P20 as a processor, so meaning 8 cores again, and all, like on the Snapdragon, all 8 are Cortex A53. The clock rate is a little bit different, because here on the XA1 it's splitted. It's 4 have up to 2.3, the other 4s have up to 1.6 instead of 2 gigahertz from all 8 cores like on the Snapdragon. Oops, this one is quick here. So 8 cores again, all 8 Cortex A53, so very similar, just the clock rate is different. And of course the graphics module. Here it's the Mali T860 MP2, meaning with 2 graphical cores instead of the Adreno 506 on the Snapdragon, on the Motorola device. So different graphics unit. Both have 3 GB of RAM working memory, so this one is the same again. But of course you have the more powerful system for lesser resolution. But on the other hand, you can compare and skip back in that video if you want to and see if you detect any major difference in the graphics quality. I mean, from the resolution, screen resolution here. For me, while gaming here, I don't check that, or I didn't already check this side by side at the moment. So, but for the first time gaming here, looks pretty much the same. So for gaming experience, I would say it doesn't make much difference if you have full HD or 720p, at least just for the gaming fun or gaming experience, whatever you call it. Of course, if you have photos or whatever, and especially side-by-side comparison, then you will see that difference, of course. And by the way, we're talking here about 295 ppi here on the Sony versus 424, so double the ppi, double the pixel density, especially concerned on the area in pixels per square millimeter, so doubled. By the way, all these numbers here, 278 on the Motorola, and this one has 134 pixels per square millimeter. So you see, really, if you compare it on the square millimeters, it's really double the value. So we are almost reached the 4 minutes, so I can stop waiting here, going to the exit, having some last tasks to do here. I hope I have enough ammunition left. Yep, okay. And once more, like I did before here, looking out, going straight ahead. Yep, that's where I did that. I hope so. At least I'm doing almost the same things. And 4 minutes 29. Yep, great, well done. And here is the exit bump. Stop it here and stop. Yeah, here we are. Here is the session, and let's see what it's doing. So here we are at 44 frames per second. Of course, you see the CPU is down, but nevertheless, it doesn't say very much without the CPU value compared to the Motorola here with 40 frames per second. Both, like I told you, the same price, both Android 7, different screen and different CPU and GPU. So you see 4 frames per second out of 60 doesn't make much difference. Yes, and especially you'll be aware that even the Samsung Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus managed 44 and 45 frames per second here. So the Sony is really the same niveau, like quality level concerning that game, like the Samsung Galaxy S8. Here it's a little bit down, but 4 frames per second. And once more, let me show you here all the complete sessions so that you can see this one. It's always also a bit splitted. Some are very low, some are very high. So how it's on the whole, you see it's almost the same, and 4 frames per second for me don't make much difference. But nevertheless, if you're a gamer and you want the best for your money, the Sony Xperia XA1 would be just for that reason here, how fluid Dead Trigger 2 or other graphically advanced games are running. I would choose the Sony Xperia XA1 just on that only criteria here. So for all other, you have the final reviews, like always, as text on my website, mobiwatch.net. Thanks for watching. Please be so kind to rate this video. Maybe you even leave a sub and your opinion in the comments. Take care and bye.